if you're following your calling or if you pursue your purpose in life, then be rest assured that you will face discouragement at one point or the other. You will have moments where you'll ask yourself, am I even on the right path? You will feel confused and disillusioned. You will have moments where you'll ask yourself, is what I'm doing having any impact whatsoever? So you might have moments where you actually feel or think that what you're doing is meaningless. If you're watching this video, you're probably facing that right now. And I want to share with you 4 things you can do in order to rise from that negativity so that you can be able to gain clarity whether you're still on the right path, so that you can be able to push through those negative emotions and carry on with the work that you're actually doing. So the first thing I would like to share with you is stop comparing yourself to others. See, comparison or comparing ourselves is one of the main reasons why people feel discouraged. So what we do is we tend to compare ourselves to people who seem to be doing much better than us. People who seem to be having much better experiences, moving much faster than we are, having much more success than we are. And the question you need to ask yourself at this moment is, am I actually comparing myself to someone else? Who am I comparing myself to? And the thing about comparison, it's normally triggered by, like I said, by someone or something that we see. And usually this happens on social media sites. So notice those triggers. Is social media having that effect on you? When you go on social media, do you always end up comparing yourself to other people and feeling discouraged at the end of your session on a social media site? So if that is the case, then avoid such triggers because they're the ones which are causing you to feel discouraged. The second thing you can do is set realistic goals. So you need to ask yourself, if you're feeling discouraged, are my goals way too high? Have I set myself in a position where I will definitely fail and feel discouraged? Evaluate your goals. See whether they're way too high. Are you expecting things from yourselves that no one can achieve in the amount of time you've given yourself? So that is something you really need to look at. Are my goals way too high? Am I overwhelming myself with my goals? And if you notice that is the case, then set your goals your bar much lower. And it could be that you might not think that your goals are too high, but it maybe makes sense to just set the bar a bit lower, and because that will help you feel like you're on top of things and you're not overwhelmed. So that's the second thing, set realistic goals. The third thing you need to do, or you could do, is practice gratitude. See, gratitude is something which is very helpful when it comes to helping us notice the things that are going well. And I think we need that in order to be able to stay motivated, to actually notice the small things that are going well, that we've achieved along the way. We tend to actually have our eyes on the big prize. We want the big trophy, the end goal. But in order to be able to stay motivated, we actually need to learn how to notice the small things that we are achieving along the way. And gratitude helps us to achieve that. So we change our perspective from what is going well, what is this scarcity mentality, to the abundance mentality. So what is going well? What have I achieved so far? The small things are important. They're just as important as the big things because they are the ones, when they accumulate, actually end up leading us to the big thing. So ask yourself that question. What is going well? And actually write that down for yourself. The fourth thing is practice self-compassion. It is not uncommon to put ourselves down when we're going through discouragement. So we compare ourselves to someone, or we have our goals way too high or whatever, and then we start putting ourselves down. We start thinking you're not enough anyway. You never achieve anything anyway. Because of you, you're so stupid. You've not managed this as fast as the other person. And that's how we put ourselves down. When we are following our calling and our purpose, we really need to allow ourselves to make mistakes and to fail sometimes, because nobody's perfect and nobody has a manual of how to do it perfectly. And even if we did, we still wouldn't do it perfectly. Nobody does it perfectly. You're not perfect. You're not going to do it perfect on the first round, on the first go, or on the first go. So accept that and just be compassionate with yourself and allow yourself to make mistakes. And you comfort yourself, or you're compassionate with yourself by saying nice things to yourself. Things like, you're still worthy, even if you haven't achieved this in this amount of time. Even if you failed it, you're still a worthy full person. And because that's the truth, your worth doesn't actually change. It doesn't fluctuate depending on your success or what you've achieved or so on and so forth. Your worth remains the same despite what is going on in your life. And you really have to put that deep into your soul and tell yourself that over and over again, I'm still worthyful. The things you can also say to yourself, you're doing your best. You're doing your best. It's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to feel discouraged at some point or the other. That's normal. It's actually normal. So feeling discouraged or feeling disheartened is actually normal, a normal part of the process. We just have to try not to stick there and find ways to carry on. And just say those nice things to yourself. And notice when you're starting to be negative and to say mean things to yourself. And just stop those thoughts, because you can actually do that. You don't have to think those thoughts through. And you can actually dispute those thoughts and say to yourself, I don't know, that's not true. I'm doing my best. And don't just let negative thoughts take over you and harass you, so to say. You can actually stop them. So you really need to do that. Just practice self-compassion by comforting yourself and saying nice things to yourself in this moment or in this phase that you're in. So those are the 4 things that you could do if you're feeling discouraged. I'll just quickly go over them again. So the first one was stop comparing yourself, set realistic goals, practice gratitude, and finally, practice self-compassion. If you found this video helpful, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to follow me on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram.